Okay, today we're talking about empirical formula. The empirical formula is the smallest whole number ratio of atoms within a molecule. It is not necessarily the molecule, it is not necessarily even a real molecule, it is just the ratio of the components, the ratio of the atoms. Calculate an empirical formula. It's going to be several steps. The first step, you're going to be given some information, either grams of the type of atoms you have or the percentages of the types of atoms you have. Transform all the values that you're given into grams. So if you're literally given grams of aluminum, you're done. Totally fine. If you're given percentage of aluminum, cross the percent out and simply write the exact same number as grams of aluminum. A percentage is based on 100. The percentages will add up to 100. We can have a 100-gram sample. It still works. Everything's fine. Step 2. Now that we have grams of our components, you have to convert the grams to moles. Everything's got to be in moles. So to convert some X grams of aluminum, you need two tools: dimensional analysis and the periodic table. You set up dimensional analysis. X grams, X will be a number, of aluminum over 1. That goes in your first bracket. You go to the periodic table. We'll do a little rounding. 27 grams of aluminum on the bottom, 1 mole of aluminum on the top. Grams of aluminum cancel. Now I have moles of aluminum. Now that we have everything in moles, the next step, you're going to divide all the moles by the smallest value you just calculated. And what that's going to generate is that's going to generate the number 1, obviously for the one that you divided itself by, and then a number larger than 1 for all the rest. 3, and actually the next several steps, we're going to show you a solved example coming up soon, but I just wanted to go through the steps. So now that we've done the division, we have a number 1 for one of the atoms and a number larger than 1 for all the rest. If all the numbers are actually whole numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you write those numbers as a subscript to the atom that you calculated it from, and that's your empirical formula. Okay, so if I had 2 moles of aluminum and 3 moles of oxygen, I would actually write Al subscript 2, O subscript 3. That is my empirical formula. Not necessarily the molecule, but the formula, the ratio of the atoms in the smallest possible way. If you do your division by your smallest one, and you have all numbers, 1 and larger than 1, but the values calculated aren't whole numbers, like a 1.25 or a 1.33, then you multiply all of the numbers, every single one, by the exact same number. That way you generate whole numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you write those as the subscript, and then that becomes your empirical formula. Think about this: if I had 1 mole of aluminum, and let's just say 1.33 mole of chlorine, I would multiply each by the number 3. That way I have 3 aluminum, and I would have 4 chlorine. Al3, Cl4. That's my empirical formula. It's not a real molecule, it's just a ratio. You're done. That's it.